experience that is directly related to the today's topic, तो ये मेरे लिए बहुत आसान हो जाएगा कि इसकी इम्पोर्टेंस क्या है और क्यों है। जैसे मैं आपको बता दूं कि नीति आयोग, MHRD और अटल दैट मीन्स AICT ट्रेनिंग एंड लर्निंग जो गवर्निंग बॉडी है, उनका एक प्रमोशनल अवेयरनेस प्रोग्राम हो रहा है, जिसमें जो लेटेस्ट जो टेक्नोलॉजी है दैट इज आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग, रोबोटिक्स, ऑफ कोर्स एडिटिव मैन्युफैक्चरिंग एंड डीप लर्निंग। तो इस अवेयरनेस प्रोग्राम में जो कॉर्पोरेट सोशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी के तहत गवर्नमेंट की एंट्री रही कि जो स्कूल स्टूडेंट्स होंगे फ्रॉम 9th स्टैंडर्ड टू 12th स्टैंडर्ड स्टूडेंट्स, दे आर विजिट इन द कॉलेज कैंपस एंड जो वहाँ टेक्निकलॉजिकल जो अचीवमेंट हो रहे हैं या उनका जो लेबोरेटरीज है उसमें विजिट करके इस टेक्नोलॉजी के बारे में एक अवेयरनेस प्रोड्यूस करना है। तो इसको समझाने के लिए मैं आपको एक अपना एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करना चाह रहा था कि 2016 में जब हमारा जो विक्रांत इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी एंड मैनेजमेंट इंदौर एक होस्टिंग किया था नेशनल कार रेसिंग चैंपियनशिप, और उसका जो वर्चुअल राउंड था उसमें हमने होस्ट किया था, और उस वर्चुअल राउंड में अराउंड 150 प्लस कॉलेजेस अक्रॉस द इंडिया, जिसमें IITs, NITs, मैन्यूट और गवर्नमेंट कॉलेजेस ने पार्टिसिपेट किया था। मैं डिटेल्स में नहीं जाऊंगा, एक्चुअली जो इम्पोर्टेंस है मैं उसके ऊपर में आ रहा हूँ, क्योंकि मैं उसमें भी एक एडवाइजरी कमेटी में था, और उसके साथ में इंडस्ट्रियल जो एक्सपर्टीज थे और जो एकेडमिशियंस थे उसकी एक पैनल थी, और उस पैनल के सामने जो स्टूडेंट्स जो अपना कार्ड डिजाइन किया हुआ था वर्चुअल मॉडल पे, वर्चुअल फॉर्म पे, उनका एक प्रेजेंटेशन था। बेसिकली मैंने एक ऑब्जर्व किया कि जितने भी पार्टिसिपेंट्स थे जिन्होंने अपने वर्चुअल मॉडल को रिप्रेजेंट किया, तो उसमें मैंने देखा कि 2 से 3 कॉलेजेस ऐसे थे जो उस वर्चुअल मॉडल के साथ साथ अपना कार्ड का एक प्रोटोटाइप मॉडल, मैं आपको दिखाता हूँ, मेरे पास रखा हुआ है, वो वर्चुअल मॉडल के साथ अपना एक प्रोटोटाइप मॉडल भी लेके आए थे। और मैंने जब देखा, एनालिसिस किया, इवैल्यूएशंस किया उन बच्चों के उन ग्रुप में से, तो ये रियलाइज हुआ कि जो बच्चे सिर्फ कैड मॉडल के थ्रू एक्सप्लेन कर रहे थे और जो अपना 3D मॉडल जो प्रोटोटाइप भी बनाए हुए थे अपने मॉडल्स का वो एक्सप्लेन कर रहे थे, तो उसमें बेसिक डिफरेंस ये था कि उसको ये रियलाइज था कि जब वो एक्चुअल प्रोडक्शन में जाते हैं और तो वर्चुअल मॉडल से जब वो फिजिकल मॉडल में जाते हैं तो उनको एग्जैक्टली क्लियर हो गया था कि उनको कहाँ पे दिक्कतें आने वाली है, उसको क्या एग्जिस्टेंस चेंज होने वाला है। और ये चीजें उस ग्रुप में मुझे नहीं दिखा जो सिर्फ वर्चुअल मॉडल्स बनाकर वो एक्सप्लेन कर रहे थे। दैट इज द वन थिंग। नाउ आई कम टू द अनदर एग्जांपल। इन 2018 when I was just work as a research scholar, मेरा एक गवर्नमेंट प्रोजेक्ट फंडेड था, जिसमें एडिटिव मैन्युफैक्चरिंग से रिलेटेड जो मेडिकल एप्लीकेशन ऑफ एडिटिव मैन्युफैक्चरिंग पे मैंने वर्क किया, जिसमें हम ह्यूमन इम्प्लांट और प्रोस्थेटिक्स, स्केफोल्ड्स, मैंडिबुलर इम्प्लांट्स, नी एंड हिप रिप्लेसमेंट प्लांट, उसके ऊपर मैं वर्क कर रहा था। तो हमारे पास एक वेल इक्विप्ड एडवांस एडिटिव मैन्युफैक्चरिंग लैब थी, जिसमें एक SLS दैट इज द सेलेक्टिव लेजर सेंटरिंग मशीन्स EOCN 395 दैट इज जर्मन बेस्ड कंपनी, और दूसरी जो हमारे पास जो टेक्नोलॉजी थी 3D प्रिंटिंग दैट इज जेट कॉर्पोरेशन की 3D फुल्ली कलर्ड 3D प्रिंटर। तो वहां पे मैंने इन सारे प्रोजेक्ट के तहत मैंने उसका एक प्रोटोटाइप मॉडल्स बना के रखा हुआ था। जैसा मैंने बताया आपको कि नीति आयोग और MHRD ने जो कॉर्पोरेट सोशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी के तहत जो स्कूल्स के जो स्टूडेंट्स थे, जब वो विजिट के लिए हमारे लैब में आए तो उनके साथ हमारा एक कन्वर्सेशन होता था, उसको एक्सप्लेन करते थे कि व्हाट इज एक्जेक्टली एडिटिव मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, व्हाट इज रैपिड प्रोटोटाइपिंग। तो जब मैं उसको इस टर्मिनोलॉजी में जब उनसे मैं बात करता हूँ उस स्टूडेंट से, तो एक्जेक्टली वो क्लियर नहीं हो पाता था उनको कि इसका मतलब क्या होता है। लेकिन जैसे ही मैं उसको बोलता हूँ कि ऐसा 3D प्रिंटिंग दैट इज द 3D प्रिंटर, तो वो थोड़ा कनेक्ट होने की कोशिश करता था कि एक्जेक्टली अब मतलब समझ में आ रहा है कि एक्जेक्टली एडिटिव मैन्युफैक्चरिंग मींस 3D प्रिंटिंग। दैट इज द ऐसा प्रिंटर जिसमें हम 3D पार्ट्स प्रिंट कर सकते हैं। तो जैसे ही मैं 3D प्रिंटर वर्ड यूज किया, वो मुझसे कनेक्ट होना स्टार्ट हो गया, कनेक्टिविटी होगी, फिर उसके क्वेश्चंस आने चालू हो गए। और मैं एग्जैक्टली वो शेयर कर रहा हूँ जो एक्चुअल में मेरा कन्वर्सेशन हुआ था जिसका 9th स्टैंडर्ड स्टूडेंट था, कि सर क्या ये 3D प्रिंटर वैसा ही है जैसे 2D प्रिंटर होता है? मैं बोला यस एग्जैक्टली, वो 2D प्रिंटर वैसा ही है जो 3D प्रिंटर काम करता है। तो उसका सडनली एक दूसरा रिप्लाई आया, क्या मैं अपना हाथ प्रिंट कर सकता हूँ? तो मैं बोला यस यू कैन। तो जस्ट उसके बगल में दूसरा स्टूडेंट था, वो बोलता सर मैं अपना फेस या चेहरा प्रिंट कर सकता हूँ क्या? मैं बोला बिल्कुल, आप अपना चेहरा भी प्रिंट कर सकते हैं। तो उनको एक आना चालू हुआ कि एक्चुअली ये कैसे पॉसिबल है कि मैं अपना हाथ या चेहरा कैसे प्रिंट कर सकता हूँ, क्योंकि एक्चुअली वो उनका जो दिमाग में था वो 2D प्रिंटर का था कि हम एक पेपर रखते हैं, पेपर स्कैन होता है और स्कैन के बाद जस्ट उसका कॉपी जो है वो बाहर आ जाता है। तो हाउ इट इज पॉसिबल टू द 3D प्रिंटिंग की वो हाथ और चेहरा प्रिंट हो सकते हैं? तो फिर मैंने उसको समझाने की कोशिश किया कि एक स्कैनर होता है, दैट इज द 3D स्कैनर। तो उस स्कैनर से हम आपकी बॉडी को या स्कैन को आपको स्कैन करते हैं, वो स्कैन डाटा हमारे पास 2D में होता है, दैट इज द डाइकाउंट फाइल। डाइकाउंट फाइल दैट मींस द डिजिटल इमेज कंप्राइज्ड मेडिसिन डाटा, दैट इज बेसिकली ये रेडियोग्राफी के स्टैंडर्ड डाटा होता है जो 2D में होता है, मेडिकल के टर्म्स में हम बात करते हैं। तो दैट 2D डाटा इज कन्वर्टेड टू द 3D मॉडल विद द हेल्प ऑफ सम सॉफ्टवेयर, मॉडलिंग सॉफ्टवेयर। तो जब हम मॉडलिंग सॉफ्टवेयर से उसको हम 2D डाटा को 3D डाटा में हम कन्वर्ट करते हैं, और उस 3D डाटा में कन्वर्ट करने के बाद उसका एक सॉफ्टवेयर होता है जिसमें हम सेगमेंटेशन या इम्प्लीमेंटेशन करते हैं, रिफाइनिंग करते हैं, फिनिशिंग देते हैं उस मॉडल को। देन वी हैव जस्ट टू convert in the STL file. Basically, STL file is a standard file that is adopted in all the 3D printers. तो उस 3D प्रिंटर के बाद देन आफ्टर STL फाइल कन्वर्टर वी हैव जस्ट टू कन्वर्ट इन द स्लाइसिंग, मतलब उस 3D मॉडल को हम स्लाइस करते हैं, लेयर में हम डिवाइड कर देते हैं, और उस लेयर को फिर हम ट्रांसमिट करते हैं थ्रू कंप्यूटराइजेशन प्रिंटर को, और वो प्रिंटर फिर सेम एज अ 2D प्रिंटर जिससे प्रिंट होता है, हर एक लेयर को वो प्रिंट करते जाता है। फर्क सिर्फ इतना है कि जो लेयर प्रिंट हो रहा है वो एडिटिवली, मतलब एक लेयर दूसरे लेयर के ऊपर जो है वो प्रिंट होते जा रहा है, अडॉप्ट होते जा रहा है, एंड फाइनली वी गेट द 3D मॉडल। दैट मींस द एडिटिव मैन्युफैक्चरिंग ऑफ 3D प्रिंटर इज प्रोसेसिंग वेयर द virtual model is directly converted to the physical one in the layer manner। तो इतना जैसे ही मैंने बताया तो लोगों को एक कनेक्टिविटी हो गई और उसके एक अवेयरनेस आने लग गया, समझने की कोशिश करने लगा कि यस दिस इज द न्यू टेक्नोलॉजी, दैट इज द इमर्जिंग टेक्नोलॉजी, क्योंकि ये कंटिन्यूसली अपग्रेड होते जा रहे हैं ये टेक्नोलॉजी, और नो डाउट ये इंडस्ट्री में काफी अब चलन में आ रहा है। इसलिए गवर्नमेंट ने इसके अवेयरनेस प्रोग्राम के लिए जो है बहुत से कॉलेजेस को जो है वो अडॉप्ट किया है उनका। तो कहने का मतलब सिर्फ इतना था कि जब हम दोनों इनको कनेक्ट करने की कोशिश करें तो इसकी इम्पोर्टेंस अपने आप में एक समझ में आ जाता है कि 3D प्रिंटिंग की क्या इम्पोर्टेंस है। तो इस सोशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी के तहत हमने भी एक 3D प्रिंटर अभियान में लेके आया है, जिसको हम बच्चों को जो है एक सोशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी के तहत उनको हैंड्स ऑन ट्रेनिंग का हम देते हैं। तो जो मेन एम है इस वेबिनार का कि एक वो प्लेटफॉर्म प्रोवाइड करवाना जिसमें उससे रिलेटेड जो भी क्वेरीज है उसका आंसर उनको मिल सके। ऑल दिस इज ऑल फ्रॉम माय साइड। नेहा, थैंक यू सो मच।
Thank you so much, Sahu sir. Now, without wasting any time, I would like to introduce our today's speaker, Mr. Manish Nair. He is an operation manager for Education Limited. He has researched, designed, implemented 3D printing curriculum and educational institute to enable students to develop visual problem solving, creative thinking, and spatial design, which is essential in most engineering design and data science careers. Now, I would like to invite our respected chairman, Sri R.S. Rathod sir, to please welcome today's speaker and also share his views on today's occasion. Respected sir, please.
Thank you, नेहा। उपस्थित जितने भी पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं सभी को मेरा विक्रांत प्रणाम। अभी प्रोफेसर के साहू से जो मैं सुन रहा था, तो ये बड़ा चमत्कारी विज्ञान है और भविष्य का बड़ा क्रांतिकारी विज्ञान होने वाला है, ऐसा मुझे पता लगा। हालांकि आज का ये पूरा व्याख्यान मैं बड़े मनोयोग से सुनना चाहता हूँ, और इसमें जो हमारे विशेषज्ञ आए हैं ये बहुत प्रतिभाशाली हैं। श्री मनीष नायर जी, इन्होंने इसमें शोध भी किया है और इसमें बहुत विशेषज्ञता हासिल की। आज इनको अपने बीच में पाकर के, श्री मनीष नायर जी को अपने बीच में पाकर के मैं बहुत हर्षित हूँ और गर्वान्वित हूँ। विक्रांत परिवार की ओर से आपका अभिनंदन करता हूँ। मनीष जी, विक्रांत प्रणाम। समय ज्यादा हो रहा है, मैं चाहूंगा कि आपको सुने। नेहा, उसके आगे बढ़ाएं आप, क्योंकि औपचारिकता कम और हम विषय पर ज्यादा थोड़ा सा जानना चाहेंगे। तो मेरा सभी को विक्रांत प्रणाम और मनीष जी का स्वागत। थैंक यू।
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Now, just I'm taking 1 minute more. I would also like to invite our MD, sir, Nitin Singh, sir, to please say a few words.
Yes, Neha. Good morning, everyone. As Arman just said, without wasting any time, we should just move forward. So I welcome Manish Nair ji from SweetExtra, who has spent his time and who has come here and giving knowledge and upgrading. I mean, this basically the 3D printing. What we are discussing today is all about 3D printing design and application. And I'm looking forward to upgrading the extra knowledge that we can gain towards 3D. So Manish Nair ji, you can start. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Sir. Okay. Thank you, Neha ma'am. Thank you to the entire management of Vikrant Group of Institutions. I am so thrilled and privileged right now delivering this session for all the enthusiastic people who have joined this webinar. I have been told that we have people from the United States, we have people from United Kingdom. So it's not just about a national webinar. I would say that it's an international webinar, because I got personal texts from people outside of India. So I am very much thrilled and super excited to deliver this session on 3D printing. So without further delay, let me just quickly share my screen and show you what I have in store for all of you. Allow me a moment. I'll just share my screen. Okay. All right. I hope that my screen would be visible to you now.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right, great. So let's quickly get started with the session for today. We are going to discuss about 3D printing, design and applications. These are three different terms, but we'll try to understand what is the relation between these three different terms, and we'll try to establish that relationship in due course of time. And let's quickly get started. So the very first thing that I would like to start with is acknowledgements. A very sincere gratitude towards the chairman, sir, Shri R.S. Rathore ji, Shri Nitin Singh Tomar ji, who is the managing director, Dr. Satyanarayan A, who is the group director, Ms. Garima Singh Tomar, who works as a treasurer. Then we have Professor Jitendra Singh Dudia, who is the principal at VGI Indore. And most importantly, Professor Kiran Kumar Sahu. He's the person who came up with this idea of conducting a 3D printing webinar. So I would like to genuinely thank each and every member at the back end of Vikrant Group of Institutions who have enabled this particular opportunity, so that we are able to establish this this particular session. We have a whopping audience of more than 350 people live right now, and that is a huge amount of people attending this webinar right now. So let's just quickly get started. I'll give you a little bit of an introduction about 3Dexter first. 3Dexter is a company that is into education and training services in the field of 3D printing. We are one of the leading edtech companies in the country. We were awarded as the best 3D printing training services company in 2019. We have been in the field for quite some time now. We are basically based out of Delhi. I am right now delivering this session live from Delhi. though we have a pan-India presence with all the clients coming across from all different states. We also manufacture FDM-based 3D printers. Yes, I'll be showing you some very interesting case studies, examples throughout this webinar, which will make you understand what is the potential of this technology. We have a footprint of in more than 20 plus cities. We are specialized in delivering ATL lab setups, 3D printing lab setups in educational institutions and research organizations. We have taken up a couple of industry projects also. Hopefully, I will be able to show you what these projects are. And lastly, we are also OEM partners, original equipment manufacturer partners to some of the industries, educational partners, and we have some vibrant participation in faculty development programs. All of these initiatives is basically to increase the awareness of 3D printing technology amongst people. And I can assume that most of the people attending this webinar are students. Some of the people who are joining are scholars, research scholars, and some participants are from the faculty fraternity. I hope this webinar will be truly helpful to you because we have included way too many things in this webinar, and I'm sure it's going to be a power-packed session. A little bit about me. I work in the operations team of 3Dexter. I have an experience of conducting more than 50 technical workshops to educators, students, corporates. I like to talk about design thinking and how to integrate designing and rapid prototyping to design thinking. It's one of my favorite topics. I have been privileged to deliver some guest lectures at some of the prestigious institutions of India. I majorly take up operational roles at the company where we have a 3D printing curriculum that is designed for school and college going students, engineering students. And this curriculum is laid out to students so that they can develop projects. Very recently, I took up some faculty development programs. Some of these programs like the Nehu Shillong and the Aditya College of Technology and Science, which is again in Satna, which is in Madhya Pradesh. We took this short-term training program sponsored by RGPV. It's a TechWeb funded program. We took this short-term training program from 14th to 16th March 2020. Unfortunately, we were not able to take up more of these sessions because of the national lockdown. So with that note, I genuinely hope that everyone is safe at their homes. Please maintain social distancing. And in this webinar, I'm going to tell you, apart from social distancing, what else can you do to fight Corona using 3D printing technology, right? So some very, very important notes. The session hasn't started yet. After this slide, we'll be starting the session. I want to make a very special note that please use a steady internet connection. I'm sure some of you are facing connectivity issues. If you are using a 4G connection, you will have a seamless experience. Second, and the most important of all, for all those of you who are live on the Zoom feature and for all those of you who are live on YouTube. So we are streaming on YouTube and there is a live going on Facebook as well. So if you want to interact with us, please use the chat feature. In the Zoom chat section, I have Mr. Amit Pradhan, who works as a senior product trainer. He'll be there to answer all your questions. We are not going to end this webinar until and unless we answer all the questions. So feel free to ask all your questions on the chat section and we'll be happy to help you out. Third and the most important part, you can use a wired or a wireless headphones for enhanced audio experience. I'm telling you this because I have included some videos in this session, which will make the session a little more interesting. Next up, in case you experience lag while attending this webinar, do try refreshing the page or exit the Zoom meeting and enter the meeting once again. If you do that, you will be able to see the session once again and it will be fine. Next up, this is my humble submission to all of you. Please do not multitask. I know that all of you have taken out special time to attend this webinar. Let's make this time worth both of our times. Real-time learning cannot be compared with anything in the world. So whatever is being shared with you in this particular webinar, let's try to learn it together, right? So that is what the motive is. And lastly, and the most important part of this webinar, please make sure that your microphone and your video feed is switched off, is put on mute mode. I'm telling you to do this because that will make sure we have a better bandwidth for us to broadcast this session. All of you might be aware that we are streaming it live on YouTube, Facebook, and then this Zoom feature where there are more than 350 participants. So lag ho sakta hai, definitely. To avoid that lag, I would request everyone to close your audio and video, right? So with that note, let's quickly get started with the agenda for today. So if I talk of the agenda, what are we going to discuss today? So there are only 4 things that we are going to discuss today. The first thing that we are going to discuss is about what is 3D printing. All right. So this is where we are trying to understand what are the fundamentals of additive manufacturing. All right. Once we are done with that, we are going towards types and the applications of 3D printing. So what are the industries that use 3D printing in India and all across the globe? Third and the most important part, this is going to be the fun part, because in this section, we are going to do a live demonstration of the software. So I am going to show you the software, how it works, the complete process of how 3D printing takes place. And lastly, we are going to show you some very scary statistics of career opportunities. What is the career growth map currently mapped in India, and where is 3D printing exactly lying, right? So all of these sections will be taken care in this particular session. And I genuinely hope that all these sections will help you understand a little more about 3D printing. So to start with today's session, this is the very first topic, what is 3D printing? In the next close to 10 minutes, we will understand what is 3D printing from the very basics. All right. So before even starting 3D printing, I'd like to tell you what is the origin of 3D printing? Where did it all start, right? This is a question that most of you might have in your minds. So where did it happen, and how about when? When did this 3D printing actually come into existence, right? So if I look at back at the history, this technology was introduced in the US market, United States, and primarily this technology was used for commercial prototyping purpose. The gentleman that you see on the screen right now, this gentleman, his name is Charles Chuck Hull. He is considered as the father of 3D printing of modern times. And this technology came into existence in the 1984. Though the patent was filed in 1986, the technology came out for industrial applications in 1984, and people started utilizing it for all sorts of applications, right? Commercial and industrial application. But in today's times, people are using 3D printers. 3D printing has become so cheap and so much easily available for every person that it is now accessible to each and every person. In fact, every person who is on this call can have access to a 3D printer and realize their project that they're currently working on. So I want to show you a very small video which tells you about some things about the technology, where it particularly stands. And I'll just run this video.
For centuries, manufacturing processes around the globe have seen a paradigm shift in the way products are manufactured. And these mega mass producing factories have been able to satisfy the needs of millions of people with products that we all love to use over and again. Well, thanks to the Industrial Revolution that made all of this happen. Most of the objects we see around are manufactured by conventional methods like casting, or it could be the machining process, or it could be the forming process. If you look around your surroundings, pretty much everything you see, from the dress that you wear to the technology that you use, every single thing is manufactured by one or combination of these processes. In these fast-changing times of the 21st century, one of the technologies that has gained immense popularity and momentum is the additive manufacturing, or 3D printing, what we like to call. It all starts with a design that you can create on any CAD platform. Then you eventually slice the model and finally 3D print it to bring it into reality.
All right, so that was a very small video that talked about the basics of 3D printing. I'm sure you must have noticed that the process of 3D printing starts by making a design. You can create this design on a computer. You can get this design from a free hosting website, or you can scan that particular model. But essentially, you get the design file. You take this design file to a slicing software. The slicing software basically slices the model into numerous layers, and this particular file, that is the sliced file, is sent to the 3D printer for final 3D printing. So as you can see on this slide, in 3D printing, it's a very simple process. You have a digital file. As you can see, this digital file is divided into numerous layers, which is the second step, slicing. And the third step is basically sending this sliced file to the 3D printer, right? One thing that you need to know, that in almost all 3D printing technologies, layer by layer 3D printing is followed. This is the basic approach behind additive manufacturing or additive principle. Now, it's very strange to know that additive manufacturing, 3D printing, there are many different terms that are used. The basic definition of additive manufacturing, as you can see, it's an appropriate name given to describe technologies that build 3D objects by adding material or adding layer upon layer of material, right? So essentially, you're just adding material one on top of each other. That's what the process is behind any additive manufacturing technique that you can think of. Now, if I talk of materials, when you switch from one technology to another, you have the option to use different kinds of materials. It could be plastic, it could be metal, concrete, it could be even human tissues or stem cells that we have inside of our bodies, right? So one very interesting, I'll just come to that part. Okay. So one very interesting point is that when we talk of 3D printing or additive manufacturing, there are way too many terms that are out in the market. People call it, additive manufacturing. Some call it additive fabrication. Some call it digital direct manufacturing. So there are many different terms that are available out in the market. But essentially, what you need to keep in mind is, if there is addition of material that is happening, then that is essentially an additive process, right? So this is that one small thing that is common in all additive manufacturing processes. So if you have understood what is layer by layer addition, you have pretty much got the understanding of what additive manufacturing is, or what is layer by layer manufacturing is. All right. So I am going to show you something which is a live demonstration. All right. So for this live demonstration, I have got a gadget called 3D pen. All right. So 3D pen, I don't know how many of you have actually seen this gadget. It's exactly like a 3D printer, but the only difference is that this is a manual object. You have to use your hands. But when you see a 3D printer, it's actual machine. It works on geometric codes. So I am going to show you, using a 3D pen, how a 3D printer actually works. You can see that this is the pen. It comes with an adapter, and there is a filament that goes inside the pen. It gets heated at the tip, and finally the melted filament comes out of the 3D pen. This is the same principle that happens in a 3D printer. All right. So now I am going to show you what is this particular process of making something live in front of audience of close to 350 people. So I hope that you're able to see, this is a sheet of paper and I have a 3D pen with me. All right. So the green colored filament that you see is the same filament that we use in 3D printers also. In FDM based 3D printers, we use thermoplastics. It's the same thermoplastic filament that I'm using. This particular filament is known as PLA, polylactic acid, and I'm going to make something for you live so that you can see. So I am going to make a very small triangle. So you can see I have made a very small triangle, not exactly a triangle, but somehow I made one layer of the triangle that you can see. Now, what if I use the pen and I make one more layer on top of it? So I'm doing that very slowly so that, so this is the third layer that I'm making. Okay, so I have made close to 3 or 4 layers of material that has come out of the 3D pen, and I'll just show you what I am actually trying to show you. In 3D printers, this is the object that has come up. You can see that there is a height that has come up. There has been a height that has developed, which was not there when we were just making the very first layer. So this is the same process that is used in a 3D printer. It follows the trajectory of a CAD design on that particular 2D projection. All right. So it follows that path. Once that path is over, then it goes to the second layer. Then it goes to the third layer. Then it goes to the fourth layer. And finally, you would see the final object come out in all 3 dimensions. So that was a very small demonstration of how a 3D printer actually works by adding material layer upon layer. This is the same principle that works in a 3D printer. All right. Now let me just share my screen and show you something which is quite interesting. Just a moment. All right, great. So I hope that you really enjoyed viewing that 3D pen demonstration. Now, for those of you who did not understand or were not able to see it properly, I have got a very small video showing you how this layer by layer process takes place. So enjoy this video and I'm sure you will get a little more understanding of how this works. This is basically clay 3D printing. So like I was mentioning, it's not just about thermoplastics. You switch to a different technology and you can use different kinds of materials also. So this is clay 3D printing. And you can see that there is a nozzle, and this nozzle is basically taking out material one at a time. So it's making a very small human facial structure that you can see. So I've written on this slide, essentially the layering process is prominent in all different types of additive manufacturing techniques. And this is very much basic to any technology that you can think of. It's quite comforting to see this video, isn't it? So that is what the layering process is. By this process, you form the final 3D object. So I hope that you got an understanding of what the 3D printing process is and how it basically works. Next up, I want to tell you or maybe discuss about why are we even discussing about 3D printing. You might feel that why is it that we are talking about 3D printing so much in today's times, that is in 2020. There are a couple of reasons. Many people say that subtractive manufacturing hai to pehle se hi, then why are we switching to a new technology? We have got CNC machines, we have got we have got a proper distinguished machining process. Why are we switching to a new technology? What is the need? Now, to answer to that question, there are many designs out there in the world which cannot be manufactured by any method that's available in the world. So for those kinds of designs, you will have to switch to a method that is additive in nature, and you can very easily develop that. So some of the key insights or advantages of additive manufacturing is, one of them is it saves on material waste. It saves a lot of material waste, and it saves on the energy also. If you conventionally see a CNC machine and a 3D printer machine, the power consumption used by both these machines are miles apart. And if I show you this particular part that we just made out of a 3D pen, you take out material only at those parts where you need the file to come out, right? So there is ideally very less wastage when you compare it with subtractive methods. Second is, like I mentioned, you can manufacture some very complex geometries. Third, and the most important part, you are able to do quick prototyping and you have a very less lead time. Say 5 years back, if I wanted to come up with a new product, or if I'm working on a new project, I want to develop that first prototype, I will have to go to a injection molding equipment manufacturer. I will have to ask him that, can you make a mold for this particular project? And can you give this mold to me? This entire process takes close to 3 or 4 months or 5 months of my time. And it will take a minimum of, say, if it's a very small object, it will take a minimum of, say, 50,000 or 60,000 rupees to get that die prepared for the mold. Now, that entire perception has completely changed because of 3D printing. Now, using 3D printing, prototyping has become so quick that within a few hours or within a few days, you can get your first prototype ready, and you will be pretty much very happy to see that, right? Lastly, there is a very interesting case discussion that is happening all around the globe. which is about mass customization. In a very highly globalized world of today, we are actually moving towards customization. If you look at the mobile phones, if you look at the gadgets that we use today, they are highly customized. And to meet customized demands of users, you will need a technology like 3D printing that can cater to demands of different kinds of people. So we'll talk about customization a little more in detail in this particular session. But for now, you just need to keep one thing in mind, that mass customization is also something that can be achieved using 3D printing. All right, so we are done with the first part to understand what is 3D printing. Now we are diving into the types and applications of 3D printing. This is one of my favorite parts, and in the next 20 to 25 minutes, you will get a complete understanding of what are the different types and what are the different applications of 3D printing. So let's just quickly get started. So the very common type that is used all around the globe, which is known as fused deposition modeling. It's also known as fused filament fabrication. You can see that there is a material at the back. If I were to show you this material, it's the same material that we use in pen. It's the same material that we use in pen in an FDM based machine. So this material goes inside your 3D printer. Right now I have a 3D pen. If you had a 3D printer, it goes inside a 3D printer. There is a nozzle at the tip. You can see that there is a nozzle. This nozzle gets heated and the melted filament comes out of the printer, and finally you can see all the files being printed on this file. So you can see it goes layer by layer. So I'll just show you in this particular graphical representation. You can see it moves along the trajectory of the CAD file. Right now, fused deposition modeling, or FFF, is the most common type of 3D printing. Many people say that, oh, it's very, very common. But the reason for the popularity is because of its ease of operation. You can very easily operate a 3D printer. You need not, we have a 3D printing curriculum running in schools where children use our machines who are in 5th standard. Can you imagine 5th standard? So that essentially means that you need not be an expert in technology. You can very easily understand how to operate a 3D printer machine. Second is its cost. It's very cheap nowadays, 3D printers. And the third and the most important part, it's usability. Like I was mentioning, prototyping becomes very quick. Using a FDM based 3D printer, you can create these prototypes real quickly and get to the final objective of coming out with the final product. So one of the things that I want to tell you is the material compatibility, that thermoplastics is the major material that we can use in FDM or FFF types of machines. Next up, I want to show you some more techniques that are used all around the globe. As you can see in this particular graphical representation, SLA is one technology which stands for stereolithography. In this technology, you have a liquid material and there is a scanner system. So the scanner basically scans the CAD model again layer by layer. After it scans one layer, then only the platform goes a level down. So that is how the final object comes up. Liquid material or a material like resin is used in these kinds of technologies. It's very much handy and useful in the medical technology. Medical practitioners use SLA technique to create all sorts of applications. We'll come to the applications. Second one is SLS, which is selective laser sintering. In this process, you can use powdered material. It can be thermoplastics, it can be metals. So these kinds of powdered material can be laid upon one at a time, one layer at a time. And then there is a laser scanner which basically scans those areas where the solidification is supposed to take place. So using this means you can get the final object. And finally, I want to show you DMLS, which is basically somewhat like selective laser sintering only. But in this process, you use metal alloys. So you can see in this particular graphical representation, there is an engineer. ये जो white color का आपको दिख रहा है, this is basically metal powders. This is metal powders. Just a moment. I think there is one person who is wishing to. Okay. Just a minute. All right. So there was a small glitch that was happening. Now it's fine. So in DMLS method, you have powdered metal. So you can see this engineer taking out powdered metal from the surroundings, and you can get the final 3D printed part that's made out of a metal alloy. Commercially, as of now, I think close to 8 or 9 different types of metal alloys are available to 3D print if you go for a DMLS technique. But essentially, like I told you, it's layer by layer printing only. That's one thing that you need to keep in mind. Next up, I want to show you some examples of prototyping. What are the different kinds of designs that can be printed out of a 3D printer? You can see this is a pipe design, which has a coveted opening at both ends. And these kinds of designs can be very easily made. It's an industrial prototype of a very small pipe design. DLP is a technology that is used extensively in jewelry industry. You can see in this particular image. This is a prototype of a jet engine. Yes, it's not about the small parts. You can actually create huger parts. You can create as small as a very small key, similar to a keychain that is being made out of an SLA machine. And this is a process called binder jetting. So you can see this engineer is basically taking out a helmet out of the machine. So if you want a prototype in the actual colors, so you can see that the engineer is taking out the helmet out. So these kinds of models are also possible to develop out of a 3D printer machine. Next up, the very interesting part, we are done with the major types of 3D printing methods. Now we are heading towards application, and I'm going to show you what are the major kinds of applications that are prevalent all around the globe. So to start with applications, if I were to be very honest with you, applications of 3D printing are vast. There are many industries that are using 3D printing. But for the scope of this webinar, I have tried to include the most important ones that people who are completely new to 3D printing should know about. All right. So there are going to be some guns and fires and surprises in this particular section. So let's just quickly get started. So first of all, I'll be discussing about the applications in medical and healthcare sector, one of the greatest benefiters of 3D printing. Next up, we'll go towards automobile, another greatest benefiter of 3D printing of all times. Another application area is aerospace. We will be looking onto what all different types of applications are there in aerospace sector. We'll look at how education and R&D is using the technology to, come up with innovative projects. Then we'll look at some of the customization. Remember, I told you about mass customization. This is the section where we'll talk about what is customization and what does it have to do with, let's say, 3D printing. And finally, I am going to show you some use cases of this technology in pandemic-like situations. Let's just say we have a very emergency kind of a situation. So in those cases, how can this technology be of use? So that is something that we'll discuss. All right, so we'll start with the very first section, which talks about the medical aspect. So very fun fact, did you know that 40% of patents filed in 3D printing industry actually belong to the medical and healthcare industry? Yes, that's a huge number. 40% of patents that are filed all around the globe belong to the medical industry. So now you can understand that medical industry is using 3D printing like no other industry. And there are way too many developments that are happening in this sector. To give you some example, you can see these hearing aids that are now close to 100% 3D printed in the US. This is a statistic taken from Envision Tech. 96% of hearing aids, not 100%, are now 3D printed. So 10 million in circulation. That's a huge number actually, right? Next up, I want to show you that there are surgeries like these, which eventually take a lot of time, and it's really difficult for doctors to come up with techniques to address these kinds of medical issues. It takes as low as 23 hours, which could have taken 97 hours for surgeons. So this technology is not just giving another option for doctors, but it is giving a lot of confidence to our doctors also that they can practice the complete surgery on a mock model first, and then they can actually switch to the patient. So that is how this technology is being seen. Next up, I want to say that Czech and Israel researchers, there is a lot of research happening all around the globe, and you will be absolutely surprised to know that there are functional 3D printed organs that are out there in the research field. Israel printed a 3D printed heart. Then there is a very good amount of research happening in the US where they have printed soft replicating cells of the human brain. You must be aware that human brain is the most complex human organ that we have. You never know how a human brain actually works. So to address that issue, researchers have tried to replicate that entire structure of the human brain, and they are conducting experiments to see how the human brain reacts to different reactions, right? So that is how the research is going ahead in the field of 3D printing. And lastly, you can see that 3D printing medicines and prosthetics have already been a huge success. You can see that this is a silicon made prosthetic ear, and this is a 3D printed prosthetic ear. So cartilages can be very easily 3D printed. Like I was mentioning, there are all sorts of, there is a specific compound called calcium hydroxypeptide amine, which is kind of a compound of calcium, which is used to print bone structures also, the bone that we have, right? So those kinds of structures are also nowadays made out of 3D printers. Now in the next video, in the next slide, I want to show you a live demonstration. Okay, not a demonstration, but a live video. This video is taken from Stratasys India and it shows a case study from India. अब तक आपको लग रहा होगा शायद कि this particular demonstration, ये तो हमने पूरी दुनिया की बात कर ली, but let's talk about India. So now I'm going to show you a very small clip of a case study that was conducted in India. All right, so let's move ahead.
Guru Nanak Dev Engineering College was started in 1956. Manufacturing Research Lab was started in 2012. Dr. H.S. Vidhi contacted us. So he wanted a 3D image of this lung of that patient.
My patient was a 23-year-old young man. His parents told me that he had been blue and there was this mass where the blood was recirculating. That's called a arteriovenous malformation. An X-ray and a CT scan is a two-dimensional.
For converting that particular SciComm images to the STL file, and those files were actually printed in the SE Uprint 3D printer.
I'll show you the print. So this is the 3D print. And all these branches are exactly as they are in the body because I could not see through the blood, through the lung. This was actually present in our operation theatre. So it just took us, I think, about 1.5 hours, something which would have taken 4 hours. Because again, we had an absolute knowledge of where the artery is. The blood loss was next to nil. This was a great boon to us. Within 2 days, we were able to send him home. And his nails, you will see, are absolutely pink now. So hats off to technology.
All right, so now that you have seen that small video of how it is being utilized in India, you might have been a little more confident that, okay, this technology is not just about the outside world, but India is also utilizing it. Moving on, I want to show you how automobile sector is basically taking up this technology. So I have got some very interesting images. So this is a classic example of topology optimization where you reduce the material to come up with a final object that serves the same function. So these kinds of structures are now made out of 3D printers. This is a windshield that you can see. This is a complete chassis. This is a 3D printed car. The name of the car is Urbi, and it was completely, the shell of the complete car is 3D printed. So like you can see, it's not a very small object like this small gear, but you can actually print a complete car also, and people have been doing it. A very interesting case study in terms of automobile that I want to tell you. 3D printing has seen to disrupt the supply chain and the intellectual property security. So this is actually seen in the US, and this statistics is taken from the United States. So 64% of US manufacturers expect 3D printing to make obsolete parts in the next 3 to 5 years. अब मैं ये चीज़ यहाँ पे इसीलिए बता रहा हूँ because in India spare parts का एक बहुत बड़ा business है. If you look at spare parts of any particular part, be it a car, be it a laptop, be it a mobile phone, we have a very huge market for spare parts. Now to cater to that market, 3D printing is seen as a very potential technology. It has been already addressed in the US market, and now it is being seen in the Indian context also. So you can see that 64% of people are expected to, completely switch over to the 3D printing methods. Now I want to show you a very small video of what kind of prototypes are made out of 3D printers in the automobile field.
4-stroke 3D printed engine is extensively used in the automobile sector, and as you can see, it's a working one.
So you can see all the parts you can individually 3D print and attach.
If you look at the parts of an engine or a gearbox, you would find that there are many critical parts involved in the assembly. These parts can be 3D printed and used for functional testing.
All right, so that is how engineers from the automobile field are using 3D printers for prototyping purpose. But apart from prototyping, they are using it for actual part production purposes also. Now, I wish to come towards aerospace. I think there are quite a few people raising hands. I'd like to request the host if you can admit. Okay, Kiran Das, the name of the car is Urbi, URBEE. I would request if the chat can be enabled. That will make sure that the questions can also be answered. Okay, great. Great. So I would like to just remind that my colleague, Mr. Amit Pradhan, who is the senior product trainer at my firm, he is answering all the questions. Do not worry, all the questions will be taken up. If your question is not taken in the chat, we'll take that to the end of the session. So not to worry about that. Talking about aerospace, some very interesting case studies coming from aerospace. You'll be literally surprised to see the video that I'm going to show you, because I'm going to show you a Guinness Book World Record. All right. So before coming to that record, I want to just tell you that in the aerospace sector, there are quite a few parts that you can see inside an aircraft that are now 3D printed. The reasons why aerospace has switched to this technology is because the parts that come out of a 3D printer, an engineer or a designer who is actually designing these parts has got the freedom to play with the density of material that goes inside a part, which is otherwise not possible when you go for subtractive manufacturing methods. So it becomes a lot of, 3D printing has democratized the designing fraternity and people are now able to come up with unique designs. पहले क्या होता था, पहले ये सोचते थे कि ऐसा बनाओ जिससे कि ये पार्ट बन भी सके. Like I can manufacture this using a conventional method. So I will have to make changes to the design and I will have to come to the design, subsequently. But आज के time में that has completely flipped. Now the engineers have got the freedom to design however they want it to be and finally come up with a design. One very interesting fact that I want to tell you, Boeing flight 777X flight that you can see, it is equipped with the world's largest 3D printed part. Can you imagine एक flight में, एक aeroplane में सबसे ज़्यादा बड़ा 3D printed part कौन सा हो सकता है? What could be that part? Think about it. एक aircraft में, these are very small parts. ये सब तो बहुत छोटे-छोटे parts हैं. But if you go for larger parts, I want to tell you that this video that I'm going to show you, it covers the entire wingspan of an aircraft. So now you can imagine the expanse of this technology and I'm going to show you that video. Enjoy this video.
Your build.
Making the tool using traditional manufacturing methods would have taken about 3 months. Using 3D printing, it only took 30 hours. But even as it was printing, Matlack says they didn't really know if printing the tool would actually work.
Nobody was positive. It was nobody knew going into this that we were going to have success. The 777X program was counting on us because they didn't have a tool planned for this particular part. So we had to have success. We found a way to make it work.
And so they did. Weighing in at 1,650 pounds, measuring 17.5 feet long, 5.5 feet wide, and 1.5 feet tall, it is the largest solid 3D printed object.
All right, so now we have seen the largest 3D printed object, and if you can see this text, it has received the Guinness Book of World Records award as well for the largest solid 3D printed item. Now we are coming to education, and this is the part where I'm going to show you a live demonstration also. Not a video, but a live demonstration. But before coming to demonstration, I want to tell you that in education field, there are quite a few applications that are being utilized. In most of the research organizations that we have seen, this is the printer that we manufacture, 3Dexter manufactures. There are various kinds of projects like prosthetic hand or a hydraulic arm that students are able to develop. Just like Kiran Kumar Sahu sir was mentioning in the very first part, that children are very curious. Students who are in their high school grade, they are very curious. So this is something that was made possible in one of our school, where a student was supposed to make up this hydraulic arm, and you can see all these parts are 3D printed separately and finally joined together to come up with the final product. So in education, if you see, if you have a research or a product idea or a research idea, You can very easily prototype it using the technology that is available to you, that is 3D printing. You can very easily do that. It's very cheap, it's very easy to operate, and finally you can test out these projects. So only because of this aspect, there are many people out there in the world who are able to come up with the idea in a shorter time. Generally कोई किसी idea को develop होने में साल लग जाते हैं, but that actually has reduced because they are now able to test their prototypes at a much quicker time. Okay, so that is how education and research institutions are using 3D printing. Now I want to show you a live demonstration. As I was telling you, I have got a prosthetic hand right now. Sahu sir was mentioning that about a prosthetic hand, so I have got a 3D printed hand with me right now, and I am going to show you that hand. For that, I will have to stop my screen and show you the hand actually. So you can see this is the prosthetic hand that I have, and you can see it's so elegant. It has got all the parts that I was mentioning. It has got the fingers, it has got the armrest, and you can actually tie it to your wrist. So this is a model. You might think that, okay, I am not a doctor, so I cannot use it in medical sector. But if you are engineers, you can do something like this and help out children or people who do not have hands. This is a proven project. There are many companies in the West who have utilized this technology to build prototypes, not prototypes, but actual prosthetic hands, and they have started distributing it to people who need it. So you can see it's a working prosthetic hand. Although there is no electronics integrated to it, but it's still under development. So you can see I will have to tie this particular part to my wrist, and whenever I move my hand using the wrist, the hand will open. And I can show you the hand part, so the fingers will also contract. Now, how is this exactly happening? We have attached some strings to it. If you can closely see, there are strings attached to it, which is enabling the expansion and contraction. So it's a very, very simple principle that is used to manufacture or maybe come up with an idea like a prosthetic hand. So possibly you can also come up with a very interesting idea using 3D printing. Let's come back to the presentation. All right, so now we are heading towards customization. One of my favorites whenever I talk about customization. You can look at this image. There are quite a few projects that you can see that are very much customized to the needs of people. All this while, मैं आपको बता रहा था बहुत छोटे-छोटे parts print हो सकते हैं. Central Madrid, which is in Spain, they have printed a pedestrian bridge. Yes, this architectural structure that you see is 3D printed, and it's one of the first in the Europe market. Likewise, you can see 3D printed chocolate 3D printers or 3D printed food is becoming quite popular in the markets of UK and the US. There are quite a lot of companies who have come up with combinations of these smooth food. We have a printer in space, yes, which is capable of printing additional supplies. This is the dental crown. Okay, dental crown, for those people who are familiar with dentistry, dental crown is something that is very much customized to the needs of every person. मेरा कहने का मतलब, you cannot make hundreds and hundreds of dental crowns and just keep it and try selling it out or maybe give it to people who need it. You need a very customized solution to those kinds of problems. So now 3D printing is lending its usability to dentistry also. You can see this is again a 3D printed car. This car was made in just about say 44 hours. The name of this car is Strati, S-T-R-A-T-I, Strati. This car was made by Local Motors. You can check out the complete case study on Google if you want to go about it. Just imagine 44 hours, यानी कि 2 दिन से भी कम, उस उतने टाइम में they have come up with a very beautiful design. One of my favorites about customization is this design, क्योंकि generally हम earphones use करते हैं, oftentimes it doesn't fit our ears. So a company in the Europe have come up with customized earphones that you can plug inside your ear. So there are quite a lot of customization companies that have come up. Some more examples. Notice this design. This is a design that was developed by Philips. Philips का नाम आप सबने सुना होगा. This is a shaver. जो shaver हम सब use करते हैं, that is a shaver. They have come up with a very new design, and you can see it's a very elegant design. Probably in the coming time, you would find many more of such new designs out in the market, thanks to 3D printing, because it has become a little more possible for the companies to come up with new models and to make it up to customization. I want to show you this one small 30-second video which shows the world's largest 3D printed board that was built in just about 72 hours. All right, so that was the world's largest 3D printed board, and you can see they even tested it out. This was inaugurated in a well-huge audience. So that is what the potential of 3D printing technology is. Next up, I want to show you how 3D printing is taking its charge in times of Corona pandemic or emergency like situations. So whenever there is an emergency, let's just say there is a war happening, or let's just say there is a pandemic, essentially emergency like situations, there are always lockdowns, and manufacturing industries and companies can always shut down. But what happens is, in these kinds of situations, 3D printing can provide a solution that can be generated sitting at your homes, and you can help out people who actually need it. So even during COVID-19 times, there are quite a lot of additions. You can see this is a face mask that was 3D printed at our facility in Delhi. We have got a COVID-19 safety key. This is an oxygen valve that was 3D printed, and it was well used in, I think the name of the company is Isanova, that printed the very first oxygen valve. It is used in the ICU department, intensive care unit. These are quarantine homes that were set up in Wuhan. Yes, Wuhan, the place where the virus originated. So these quarantine homes were very much necessary because you don't have too much time to think about manufacturing and to come up with all sorts of solutions. You will have to do things very quickly. So in those kinds of applications, you will have to switch to a technology like 3D printing that is capable of coming up with solutions in very less time. One more image of one of my colleague, Mr. Anand, who is holding a face shield. You can see this green part is basically 3D printed, and an OHP sheet is put in front of it to make sure that the virus doesn't spread. All right. Now, you might feel that in COVID-19 situation, social distancing is very important, as I was telling you in the very first few slides. But every time, even if you maintain social distancing, you also need to make sure that wherever you go, you do not come in contact with objects that might be infected. All right. Let's just say एक door है, वो एक infected patient ने शायद touch किया होगा उसके handle को, and you do not want to, get yourself infected with that virus. So in such cases, a small, innovation that you can do sitting at your homes is this COVID-19 safety key. And I'm going to show you how this COVID-19 safety key can be used by literally any one of us. All right, so you can use as small और मतलब इतना छोटा सा आप एक safety key chain भी आप print कर सकते हो, and you can use it in your day-to-day lives. So that is what the potential of this technology is. Now we are heading towards the third part, the most interesting section, where I am going to show you the actual process demonstration. In this section, we are going to show you the demonstration of the complete software. We will start with a model that we'll create on a CAD platform. Then we'll take that model to a slicing software, and printing the model will take a lot of time, and we cannot wait until the print is over. So I have got a printed model in front of me. I'm going to show you that model and tell you that, and I'm going to demonstrate to you that It's so simple that you can, sitting at your homes, you can do this. All right. So let's just quickly get started with designing. All right. Okay. So I will share my screen. Okay. Okay. Great. I hope the screen of the software is visible to everyone. I'm using a software called SketchUp. The reason why I'm using this is because the software is pretty easy to use. It gets installed very quickly. It doesn't require too much of hardware and software requirements. You can also get this software. It's a freeware. You can get it on Google. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to design something. Let's design the safety keychain only. You might be wondering that how can I do that? So I'm going to show you that this is a 3D design software, and you can see that there are 3 dimensions. This is X, this is Y, and this is Z. You can call any of these axes as X or Y or Z. I am going to start designing this small keychain. Yeah. So I'm going to start with a small rectangle to start with. Just a moment. I need to see the. Just a minute. Okay, great. Now it's done. Okay, so I am going to start with a rectangle. All right. Now rectangle is a 2D shape. Everybody knows that. I am going to give it the dimensions. You can look at the lower portion. The dimensions are mentioned, 50, let's say 100. So I've made a very small rectangle. You can see. Now I am going to see it from this perspective because, yeah. So next up, what I'm going to do next is I am going to make a small arc on this section, or I'll just make it a little thick. Now I am going to make a small circle. All right. Now I'll use the arc tool. And I have made a very small arc. All right, great. Now next up, I am going to take this line and not able to see it properly. Just a moment. Yeah. All right. So I've come to this section. Now I'm going to use the arc tool once again. All right. तो शायद आपको समझ आ रहा होगा जो मैं बना रहा हूँ अभी. It's a keychain. This is the hole. And this is the cut section. Now I'm going to make some features to it so that it looks a little more realistic. Ideally, when you design something, you have to make sure that it is designed according to dimensions. But for this demonstration purpose, I wish to show you that designing is quite easy. Lastly, I will just okay, I've made a very small triangle. Okay, great. So you can look at this particular design, which is a very preliminary design. It's something that is not a very good design, but a simple design that we designed in just about say 1 or 2 minutes, right? And I will mention one of your participants' name. Okay, I'll mention Mr. Bhavana, right? So I'm mentioning your name, sir. So let's see how it comes out. So I'm just mentioning the name so that it comes out properly. I'll just rotate it. I'll move it and place it. Okay, so you can see that I've pasted a name on top of it. So let's just assume that you have 5 members in your family. So you can get each of your family members, you can print each one of your family members with a COVID-19 safety keychain, so that whenever they go outside, they can use the safety keychain wherever it's possible to avoid that contact, right? So I have made this design. How much time did we take? I think we took close to 3 or 4 minutes. Now this design is completely ready, and I am going to export this design to a software that is called Cura. So I'm exporting this design. So I'll just name it the name of sir, Bhavana sir, and I'll mention it. So the file is now ready. We are done 50%. Now the next 50% is basically on the second software, which is slicing. So I'm going to close this design. I'll save this design probably on desktop itself. All right, so I've saved this design and I've closed it. All right, now I'm going to share a screen where we are going to understand how slicing takes place. All right. All right, so this is the software where slicing takes place. This is that software where we will be able to see the layer by layer simulation of the file. I am going to bring my file to this software. So we know the name of the file is bhavana.stl. So I'll just take this file. All right, so there we go. This is the file that we have got, and I'll just rotate it so that you can see it properly. All right, so I'll just bring it in the front so that you can see it properly. Now, a very interesting fun fact. This is the file that we just designed 5 minutes back. I'm going to slice this model so that you can see the different layers and you can see the time. So this particular model takes 35 minutes. Had I designed it with exact dimensions, it would have taken a lot less time, probably 20 minutes. In 20 minutes, you can get this printed. If you designed it according to exact dimensions. So I am going to show you something which will literally blow off your mind. We were talking about layer by layer printing. If you recall, we were talking about layer by layer printing. And I want to show you what this layer by layer printing is. If you closely see, these are the layers. The red ones that you see are the layers. How many layers are there? There are 33 layers in this particular model, and it will print one at a time. Right? I am going to show you the demonstration so you can see. This is the nozzle, the printer nozzle. When it will be printing, it will come up closely with printing the trajectory, and then it will slowly finish the. So this is the 15th layer. You can see 15th layer. So this is printing the 15th layer as of now. And once it is over, it will go to the next layer, that is 16th layer. Let's just see this particular simulation. So you can see it's printing the name. It's just trajectory. The trajectory is just focusing on the CAD design that is provided to it. And likewise, you will see the complete object form. Now the process is very simple. You are completely ready. You just need to save this file. इस फाइल को सेव करना है. You have to send this file to a 3D printer. You can save it to an SD card, which can be read by your 3D printer, or you can connect your 3D printer directly to your computer and get it printed. And you can have your own safety keychain in just about no time. All right. So I want to show you something now of what this COVID-19 keychain is. So this is how it looks like after you print it. So you can see this is how the keychain looks like. You can hold it like this. You can touch on some of the parts, and this is the final trajectory. Let's just say you are way too much focused about the safety keychain. You can print something like the Vikrant group of institutions also. I'm sorry, this would be seeming to you as a mirror image, but this is the actual logo of Vikrant group of institutions, which we printed yesterday with all the colors. We just changed the filament while it was running, and we got the blue color in front of it. So likewise, you can print a lot of things using this technology. It's not a very difficult technology. If you utilize this technology for good means, you will be able to use it on a lot of things, right? Now we are heading towards the final part of this session. Just a moment. All right, so the final part that we are going to head towards now is career opportunities. Now, I'm assuming that there are many students who are attending this webinar. especially I got some responses from the US who were students. So if you are looking for career opportunities, let me show you something. Let me show you some statistics of what is the current job cycle in India. The skills that I'm going to talk about applies to any country. It's not just about India, but any country. But the report that I'll be discussing, it will be from India, and that too from NITI Aayog. So let's just first come to the Forbes report. So if you must have heard about the report that was published by Forbes, which talks about the future skills report. Now, it is not necessary that you want to land yourself into a job. You can also get to a place where you want to create opportunities for people. So Forbes published a report which said that there are quite a few skills that anybody needs in today's times, in 21st century, to survive in the job sector, right? So some of these skills are complex problem solving. You can see that designs like these, if you want to design one of this particular design, you will have to develop that problem solving skill. You will have to see what the user is facing, the problem, and you will have to come up with solutions that can solve that particular problem. So that complex problem solving skills is highly needed in today's times. Creativity. You may have come up with, say, 10 different types of designs which are keychains, but the beauty of this design is there is only one design, or इस एक design से मैं बहुत कुछ चीजें कर सकता हूँ. I can push my thing, I can take my grocery items on top of it. So there are many things that I can do. So that is the creativity aspect. The third aspect is teamwork. Yes, teamwork is also a very important and equivalent skill. You will have to work in a team to make sure that your ideas are crystal clear with each and every participant. And lastly, interpersonal communication. In my very short career, from all the students that I have met in the last 5 or 6 years, I've seen that many students feel that their communication skill is not up to the mark, or they want to work on their communication skill. Now, I have some surprise for all those students who feel that their communication skill is not good. If you have a very good project idea, let me tell you, a project idea like this can talk to your interviewer or to your prospective clients that this is what I want to talk about. This is the design that I want to talk about. So your design can actually talk to your clients about what that particular product is all about. So 3D printing, the skill actually gives you wings to a lot of things, including your job related skills. Next up, I'm going to show you some shocking results. You will be literally shocked knowing about this. We are going to discuss about the employability reports. All right. Now, for those of you who are looking out for jobs out, this was a study conducted jointly by PwC and NITI Aayog. NITI Aayog is the government wing. So according to this report, 35% of youth of India are population aged between 15 and 29. इसका मतलब बहुत, this is a huge number actually, right? But unfortunately, it shows that only 47% coming out of educational institutions are employable. Now that's a very grave number, which means 53% जो बच्चे कॉलेज से बाहर निकलते हैं, उनमें ये बेसिक स्किल्स होती नहीं है जो कि एम्प्लॉयमेंट के लिए चाहिए होता है. So it's high time that we start focusing on 21st century skills. This report also says that as per September 2019, India has presently 31 million jobless people. And the reason, not solely, but in some ways, is because of the skill gap. Not talking about the COVID-19 crisis that has enabled layoffs and in many of the companies, but essentially this joblessness is because of somewhere down the line, the skill gap also. So if students who are at a very earlier stage of their career, if you can start focusing on 21st century skills, not about designing, but how can you use that designing to come up with a unique idea or a project? That is what the skill is. It also says that those students who focus on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, which is short for STEM, are more critical in getting a good job, in innovating, in learning problem solving skills and creativity. So there are quite a few things that are actually very, very important for all the students who are out there in this particular call. Now, if I were to tell you what are the job skills that are required in the 3D printing world, if you are skilled in the 3D printing technology, there are quite a few roles that can fit your requirement. There are 3D part designers, design engineers, operators, 3D part production engineers, final assembly people. So there are many people assigned in each of the departments of a organization or a company that you can think of. And there is a need of 3D printing engineers in all of these platforms. And it's not just about engineering graduates, right? It is also for people who are from other professions, from medical background, from lawyer background, from, let's say, computer science background, people who wish to develop the software behind the slicing. So those kinds of career options are also highly in need in today's times. So this is basically a sample, an example of all the 3D printing careers that you can look forward to. You can see architects, material researchers, bioengineers. So what are we as a company 3Dexter doing to particularly offer this particular, cater to this particular problem that the society is facing? We are helping the community to upskill by offering an online 3D printing course. I want to show you a very small sneak peek, a 30 or 40-second video that talks about this online 3D printing course. Probably you would be surprised that there are many people who have benefited from this course in the past 3 months. So let's just watch a very small video and come back. All right, so that was a very small sneak peek of what 3Dexter is doing to upskill. Some of the testimonials of our course participants, you can see we have participation from all parts of all the states of India. We have literally crossed close to 400 participants who have completely got trained in this technology. You can see dentists, you can see fashion designers, you can see medical practitioners who have been part of our course. So that is what 3Dexter is up to. Next up, I want to tell you how can you as an individual enter the market. So the very first thing is to understand the market, which I'm sure that in this session, you must have understood a vague understanding of what the 3D printing market is, what are its applications, and what kind of skills do you need. Once you know about this, the second step is to work on your skills. You can actually work on projects that are 3D printing related. You can upgrade your skills if you are completely new to this technology. And finally, you can establish your skills on a digital platform. You can use networking to make sure that you get the best opportunity that's out there. It's not just about getting any job, but it's about getting the job that perfectly fits your requirements. So that is something that can be made sure if you are able to, if you are skilled in this particular technology. So we are going to end this session in the next 3 minutes. I'm going to end this session with a very interesting fact. Did you know, this is a very interesting fact. This guy that you see holds a Guinness Book World Record. All right. His name is Rifat Shahrukh. He's an 18-year-old from India. He has made a 3D printed satellite that weighs just about 64 grams. It's lighter than an iPhone that you have. It's named after our honorable President, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Kalamsat is the name of the satellite. And this satellite was commissioned last year by ISRO, and it was commissioned by separately by NASA as well. So there are quite a few things that are related to this technology. And this small satellite that you see, it's 3D printed. It's FDM 3D printed. And FDM technology has been utilized to print this small satellite. So that is the potential of this technology. With that note, I would like to thank each and every participant who has been so patient in attending this complete webinar. And I'm all open for any sort of questions that you have. I'm sure most of the questions must have been answered by Amit, and on our YouTube live, we have Minakshi and Shubham, who's taking care of the live stream. Next up, if you have any sort of questions that I can help you with, I'll be more than happy in addressing those queries. On behalf of 3Dexter team, I'd like to thank each and every participant who has attended this webinar. Over to you, Neha ma'am, or Sahu sir. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. It was a very nice session. Actually, ऐसा लग रहा था कि आप ना स्टॉप करें तो ज़्यादा अच्छा रहेगा. बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग सेशन था. सर, मैं इनवाइट करना चाहती हूँ हमारे ग्रुप डायरेक्टर डॉक्टर सत्यनारायण सर को. He was listening your session very keenly. So I just like to invite him to say a few words. Satyanarayan sir, please.
Good afternoon to everybody. Vikram Pranam to all. I was listening to Mr. Manish Nair from 3Dexter. It was a very, very interesting session. Well presented. And it was simple in many aspects so that students can understand. Okay. So he's given us the idea on the 3D drawing and the 3D printing methods. And then the use of the layering technology. He also gave us the different applications, especially in medical, and especially very specific to COVID. He gave us a very good insight, which I'm really appreciate. Particularly, I like the you showed us a demo on the the key, which was very useful, and many of them have their own 3D printer, so it will be nice to have it have this thing in to develop it in-house. And you also showed us the career opportunities our students can look for, particularly in design, and how we can utilize this COVID-19 time to learn about the sketch, the using the software like Sketchware. That's what I think you used. And Ultimake Curve, that's the layering software. I think we should, all our students should focus on that, and from all over the world. Okay. And let us learn this, utilize this time well to get ourselves equipped. And the future belongs to 3D additive manufacturing, because I belong to a generation which is a subtractive manufacturing, where we do a lot of cutting business. And now it's more, your generation is on additive business. I mean, that's the future, right? Thank you so much, Mr. Manish Nair. It was a wonderful presentation.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hello. Thank you, sir. Now I would like to invite Principal Gwalior, Pawan Agrawal, sir, to please share a few words.
Thank you, Neha madam.
Sir, please. Yes.
First of all, I would like to congratulate you, Manish ji, for your today's valuable, informative, and easy way of presentation. And I am from mechanical engineering side, so I can easily understand the importance of 3D printing. And nowadays, it is very difficult to construct or make a complex parts in machines or tools by number of machining process, machinings, etc. But we can easily construct or make a complex or micro parts via 3D technology. So I appreciate your presentation and your knowledge, and also I hope that your workshop will be beneficial to our student in future. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I have seen many raised hands in the box, so we'll take questions. Yes, I'm unmuting one by one. Okay. I have unmuted Vivek Chauhan, sir. You can take your question. Hello. Vivek, sir, I have unmuted you. You can ask your question. Okay. We'll come to the next. Shivi Yadav.
Hello.
Yes.
Good
Please ask your
afternoon,
question.
ma'am. Ma'am, I would like to ask that where will we get the online course of this 3D printing?
Okay. So.
Hello, Manish sir.
Yeah. Your name is Shivi, right?
Yes, sir.
Shivi, how was the presentation? Did you find it helpful?
Yes, sir. It was very good and it was very helpful. I'm keenly interested in it.
Okay, great. So Shivi, as I was mentioning, we are conducting an online 3D printing course. We have been doing this for the past 3 or 4 months for now, and we have had 400 plus participants. If you want to know more about the course, I would suggest not just you, but for everyone, you can just check out 3Dexter's page on Facebook page or LinkedIn page. On all of these pages, we are publishing every Tuesday. We have a new batch that starts. So as of now, we have got close to 400 or 450 plus participants who have been part of this course. And you can get all the details on Facebook. If you use Facebook, that's fine. Otherwise, you can log on to LinkedIn. I am available on LinkedIn, and 3Dexter has a page on LinkedIn where you'll find all the information.
Okay. I think so. The contact details are shared in the chat box. If anyone have or queries, you can mail or call them, and you can take your questions there.
Yes.
Now I would like to request, sir, shall we end the question session or you want to continue?
I'm okay with both the parts. Whatever you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'm getting more raised hands. So I'm unmuting. Vatsal, please ask your question. Vatsal, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
I wanted to ask that what are the career opportunities for students like us? I am a BTech student from NIT Bhopal.
Okay, Vatsal, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Vatsal, which branch are you particularly studying in?
Mechanical engineering.
Mechanical engineering. All right. And which year of engineering?
I'm in third year.
Third year. All right. So if I talk of NIT Bhopal, I think it's the Man at Bhopal, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So interestingly, in Man at Bhopal, we have got our machines, Edexter
Yes,
machine.
sir.
So what I would like to. Okay, great. So basically, what I want to tell you is you can start working on because you are in your bachelor's time frame right now. You can start working on your final year project or the third year project that you're currently working on, and you can develop these projects. You can develop these projects on the 3D printer so that you can show it or maybe showcase it with a group of people. Now, many students with whom I have personally got in touch with, they were able to come up with various kinds of designs. Like I was showing you this prosthetic hand.
Yes,
you can
sir.
see this prosthetic hand. We have got students from various universities who have tried adding sensors to this design, which is the next level of this which is the next development to this particular project. So this way, what they are doing is they are developing many of these kinds of designs, and they're finally posting it on professional networks like LinkedIn. And then when you go for a job interview, or let's just say you want to start up your own business, you will be at a much better position to portray your projects.
Actually, I have a doubt that I don't know which type of companies will be there to hire me for such type of work.
Okay, so let me just clear that air for you. All the product development companies that are out there in the market, you look at any FMCG company, you look at if I just take an example of Unilever, Hindustan Unilever.
Okay.
They come up with very different designs of, let's say, if I were to give you an example, toothbrush or a
Yes,
toothpaste. They come up with various kinds of designs. Similarly, if you look at shampoo bottles, they
Yeah.
definitely progress with different kinds of designs. So
Different
these
designs.
designs, yeah. So essentially, in any product development company, which is like 90% of the companies where products are actually developed at a R&D stage, you will be able to apply to these companies, showcasing your skills. Right now, hota kya hai? There is a pool of, let's say, BTech students who are all of these students are skilled in, say, mechanical engineering subjects, but कोई speciality नहीं है. There is no particular skill that any person has. Skill comes with experience. When you have this 3D printing skill, I would personally recommend you to start working on some innovative projects. Start listing down these projects to research organizations and start writing to these organizations. And that is how you get to these positions where new products are developed. It is very much dominant in the complete Indian manufacturing sector. You go to automobile, you go to textile, you go to fashion. I've been interacted with people from the fashion industry. You would not believe, I've seen mechanical engineers working as fashion designers.
Oh.
Because they have got a skill of 3D printing. I'll show you something, just a moment. Do you see this design?
Yes.
This is basically a chain mail. It's something that you can use as a fashion student. This is something that you can use for a clothing purpose, or you can use it as a table mat. It's totally up to your imagination. But this particular design that I'm showing you is designed by a mechanical engineer. So
Great.
wherever there is product development that is happening, you can come up with innovative project ideas. It could be the same thing also, but many people don't take that first step, which is the baby step, to start with implementing these projects, and you are good to go with all sorts of opportunities. I personally believe that opportunities are not less. They are everywhere, literally. It's just that you need to tap onto them. That's how it works.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to invite our principal Indore, Professor Jitendra Singh Dodia, sir, to propose a vote of thanks. Sir, please.
Thank you so much. On behalf of the Vikrant Group of Institutions, first of all, I would like to extend a huge thanks to our most valued speaker, Mr. Manish Nair. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us. You delivered such a very informative session. Secondly, on behalf of the organizing team, I would like to extend our gratitude to the top management, especially to the Honorable Chairman, Mr. R.S. Rathore, Managing Director, Mr. Nitin Singh Tomar, and Treasurer, Mrs. Garima Singh Tomar, for your motivation and encouragement for this webinar. And yes, organizing team, I would like to congratulate the entire team for their well coordination and the successful organization of this webinar. The moderator of this webinar, Professor K.K. Sahu, Professor Neha Khatri, and the technical team, Professor Vijay Bisain and Professor Bhavna Lakhani. I appreciate your all efforts. You guys did very well. And of course, all the beloved students and respected faculty members from the various engineering colleges and from the various universities from the North India and Central India, even from abroad, out from the India. Thank you so much for your participation. Without your presence and participation, this event will not get succeed. Again, I would like to thank each and every member who directly and indirectly be the part of this webinar. Thank you so much. Have a very great day. Stay home, stay safe. Vikrant Pranam.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks again, Manish sir, for this wonderful session. I will request all the participants, please fill the feedback form so that you will get your certificate soon. Thank you so much again, everyone. Thank you so much for being with us and patient listening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.